I'm a night shift nurse at a remote hospital. Every time patient stares into the same corner, last night it finally looked back at me. I work as a night shift nurse in a remote hospital. Something is wrong with some of my patients. This is hard to explain. I'll be frank and say that I'm not at the soundest mind myself, as constant night shifts have taken a harsh toll on my mental health. Still, I know that what I'm seeing is real and not a fabrication of my mind. A year before working here, I was employed at a private hospital in a large city. Some bad things happened to me, and I decided to leave my old life behind. This place needed a permanent night shift nurse. Since I get almost no sleep anyway, it became the perfect job for me. The money is good, but I really do not care about finances anymore. This hospital is the polar opposite of the tightly run and lavish one I used to work at. It is run down and looks half abandoned. It does not help that it is located in a densely wooded area with almost non-existent lighting. My mind is racing as I type this, and I'm already on my third pack of cigarettes. I do not even know where to begin. I would love to share this with someone in person, but even if I had someone, they would think I was insane. The first day I arrived here, I was taken aback by the eerie brown and dark green interior design. The place looks like something out of World War I. The air smells like phenol, alcohol, and staleness, which was very off-putting, but I got used to that part, at least. The entire place was filled with narrow corridors that had poor lighting. If there were 10 bulbs on the ceiling, one was functional, while the rest were either burned out or flickered at best. I went into the doctor's office. He was an old, short man, probably in his late 80s. I was caught off guard that someone his age was still working, but he was. I always considered it impolite to ask why. He did not give me the usual interview or onboarding prep talk we're all used to. No, this felt sincere. He raised his head and looked at me for a moment. "You smoke?" His voice was deep and soft. I did not expect the question and simply nodded. He opened the window in his office and offered me a cigarette. I hesitated, thinking it was some kind of dust. He noticed and lit one for himself first, trying his best to blow the smoke outside. I relaxed and joined him. "We old ones do things a bit differently," he said. I immediately knew things were here more relaxed and far less up to code. Moaning and frightened gasps from patients could be faintly heard in the office, which made me uneasy. We talked about life and general topics for the most part, which honestly is not very interesting. The eeriest thing happened at the very end of our conversation. He took my hand and gazed into my eyes. Most would consider this inappropriate and creepy, but it felt like a fatherly warning. His voice sounded frightened. "Have you seen a patient die before?" he asked. "A few." "Yes," I responded. This place has many unfortunate memories. For over a century, it has been a place of great suffering. Things here are not quite what you might expect at times. He paused, watching to see if I understood. When patients enter the final hours of their lives, try to give them their peace. He let go of my hand. I was puzzled, to say the least. My first few nights were normal. It was just me and two other nurses, and often only one doctor on the night shift. The hospital was huge, but because of its remoteness, it had very few patients. Then, on my seventh shift, things became strange. I was alone on the floor with 4 patients. One of them, an elderly man with a severe aneurysm, did not have much time left. He was barely responsive. That night, he looked me in the eyes and whimpered a repetitive, "No, no, no." I tried to comfort him when I noticed he was not looking at me. He was staring into the upper corner of the room. I turned around, but there was nothing there. The fear in his eyes was immense. I knew he was gazing at something only he could see. He spent the next 3 days staring fearfully into that corner, with occasional pleas for mercy and redemption. On his final night, he started shaking and clenching his teeth, completely unresponsive to my attempts to treat him. The room felt odd, and he was the only patient there at the time. I cannot explain it, but it felt as if the room was darker than it should have been, especially around that corner. The old doctor came in, took one look at the man, and nodded, gesturing us to leave. He's going to... I began, but he interrupted me. His time has passed. You know, we cannot do much. I knew he was right, but I have always been an advocate for trying everything. Reluctantly, I walked outside. I swear that the moment we closed the door, he started gurgling and writhing in pain. After a few seconds, he went quiet. "Take a walk," the doctor said, tapping me on the shoulder. I went to the window and lit a cigarette, trying to make sense of what had just happened. This was not standard protocol by any measure. This cursed place makes me feel as if I'm constantly being watched. The other staff seem to feel the same way, but everyone is reluctant to talk about it. That night, I was scared out of my mind. I looked out the window into the forest. Keep in mind, this is a remote place with very little light. I could swear I saw a man standing there, looking at me. I tried to ignore him, but I could not stop staring. It was so dark I could barely make him out. I do not know if my mind filled in the blanks or if I imagined what I saw. The man looked as though he was completely bandaged, yet the bandages were old and yellowed, as if they had been there for years. I wanted to scream and slam the window shut before collapsing beneath it. Weeks passed, and I grew more anxious with each day. I lost a noticeable amount of weight due to stress and was barely recognizable to myself. Things were normal until another patient who was clearly dying began starting into the same corner, either muttering nonsense or trembling with a level of fear I have never seen before. Every single one of them did it. One day I found the old doctor dead in his office. He was the only one who died with a smile on his face. His chair was turned towards a corner of the room. There was a piece of paper on his desk addressed to me. It was obvious that it was written with unsteady hands, probably just before he died. One shall gaze into the finality of this life as if greeting an old friend. Their virtuous deeds will carry them as if they are but a feather. The other will bear the torment in their final moments, crushed by the burning weight of their wrongdoings. Late night shift is something I will never forget. The hospital has a basement that has not been used in God knows how long. I rummaged through the office and found the key to the padlock. Being foolish, I took it and went down into the basement. I barely managed to open the lock, as if it was so rusted that the key would hardly turn. Eventually, it did. The air smells like death, and the halls were filled with old medical equipment and mattresses caked in dried blood. The lights did not work, but I brought a flashlight. My hands started to shake from the sheer fear of being down there. My gut told me to turn around and never come back, but human nature urged me to explore at least a little. Against my better judgment, I opened a nearby door. It was a padded psychiatric room. The entire room was covered in the words, "Forgive me," along with various religious symbols, except for one corner, which held a drawing of something I cannot even describe. The scribbling looked as though it was moving, as if it were somewhere alive. The etched and drawn shape in the corner looked as though it was shifting, as if something endless existed behind that small corner of the room. It resembled the dark mass of eyes that would close but never open again. The moment I saw that drawing, I stopped feeling alone. It is as if something is always breathing down my neck. I cannot shower without thinking something is right in front of my face when I close my eyes. I swear, I see things in the corner of my vision. Small items have started to disappear. Every time I ask my colleagues about the patients and the corner, they change the subject. No matter how much I press, I feel drawn to something. I'm still losing weight. I grow sicker with each passing day. Anonymous confession. I stole antipsychotics from the office. I've been taking them for 3 days. They do not help. the patients still stare. Last night, one of them grabbed my wrist before he passed. He did not look at me. He looked past me, into the corner of the room, and he smiled. I told myself it meant nothing. I told myself it was muscle memory, nerve death, a reflex. But tonight, as I sit here typing this, I have realized something I cannot explain. I moved my desk earlier. I do not remember doing it, but it is no longer facing the door. It is facing the corner. I keep catching myself looking up, just for a second at a time. I think, no, I know. Something is standing there now, and it is waiting for me to stop blinking. I work night shift at an airport. Something is following me through the terminal. I'm writing this from inside the cleaning closet at gate A19. My hands wouldn't stop shaking, and I need to document what's happening before things get creepier, or before it finds me. I've been working the night shift at this airport for almost 4 years. Same routine every night. Clean the food court, sanitize the restrooms, mop the terminals, in and out by 2 a.m., home by 3. Simple. Tonight should have been not a friend. Andrew called in sick again, 3rd time this month. So I had to handle the entire baggage alone. The grease trap had been licking for God knows how long, and the smell. Christ, it was like something had crawled in there and died. Took me an extra 2 or was it 3 hours to get it cleaned properly. By the time I finished, it was already 4 a.m. The airport felt different at that hour. Quieter, emptier, like the building itself was holding its breath. I've walked plenty of late nights, but this was the first time the silence felt wrong. I started my usual route to the employee exit near gate B12. That's when I realized something was off. The hallway seemed longer than usual, not dramatically, just enough to make me second guess myself. Maybe the exhaustion was getting to me. Towel shifts will do that. But then I reached where the exit should be, and there was nothing, just another corridor stretching into darkness. I backtracked thinking I'd taken a wrong turn, but every pathway I tried led to more empty gates, more endless hallways. The fluorescent lights hummed overhead, casting everything in that sickly yellow glow that makes everything look like a hospital. Then every light in the terminal went out. Knock, knock, knock. 3 deliberate blows against the floor-to-ceiling window at gate 823. The sound echoed through the empty terminal like gunshots. I froze. Outside the window was nothing but darkness. The knocking came from the outside, but we're on the 2nd floor. There's nothing out there but a 40-foot drop. My heart was hammering as I approached the window, trying to stumble with the seats in the middle of the dark. I pressed my face against the glass, trying to see through the reflection of the terminal lights. Nothing. Knock, knock. I jumped. The sound this time came from gate 822. Closer. The sound was following me. I started walking faster, my footsteps echoing in the empty pitch dark space. The knocking continued, moving from window to window, always one gate ahead of me. Each knock was precise, deliberate, like something was pacing me from outside. That's impossible. I know it's impossible, but I could hear it clear, sharp knuckles against glass, keeping perfect time with my movement. Knock, knock, knock. Gate 821 now. The sound was getting more violent, more insistent. The darkness was absolute. Not even the emergency lighting kicked in. In 4 years of working here, I'd never seen the airport lose power completely. The backup generators should have. Knock, knock, knock. Right next to me, so close I could feel the vibration through the floor. I ran. I couldn't see anything, but I knew these halls well enough to navigate my memory. I stumbled through the darkness, my breathing ragged, the knocking following me like a predator stalking prey. Knock, knock, knock. I found this cleaning closet by accident, literally running into the door in my panic. The moment I got inside and locked it, the lights came back on. I could see the light under the door crack, but in here it's still dark. I've been hiding for 20 minutes now, typing this on my phone. The knocking has stopped, but I can hear something else now. Movement, footsteps in the terminal, heavy, deliberate steps. Something that shouldn't be there. I can see shadows moving past under the door, passing back and forth like they're searching for something. Searching for me. I just tried calling security, but there's no signal. My phone shows full bars, but every call goes straight to a busy signal. Even 911 won't connect. The footsteps have stopped completely, stupidly close to me. It's completely silent now, but somehow feels worse than the knocking. At least then I knew where it was. Wait, there's something scratching at the door, like fingernails dragging across metal. The scratching is getting more frantic. I can hear breathing on the other side of the door. Heavy, wet breathing that doesn't sound human. I can smell it, the same rotting stench from the grease trap. But worse, much worse, I'm starting to sound like a crazy person. Oh God, the door handle is turning. Forgot to lock it from the inside. The door is opening. I can see something in the crack. Not a person, but a shadow with too many limbs. It's squeezing through the gap, folding in on itself like it's made of liquid darkness. It's in here with me now. It's reaching for me. The screen is cracking. My phone is cracking. Everything is. Update from airport security. Employee Jessica Langdon was reported missing during her shift on June 14th. Her phone was found in a cleaning closet at gate A19, displaying this post. Security footage shows her entering the closet at 4:47 a.m., but no footage exists of her leaving, just her phone on the floor, screen shattered. I'm posting this because people deserve to know. I've fucked security here for 12 years and I've never seen anything like this. But I'll tell you what really bothers me. I checked the maintenance logs for that night. The grease trap in the packaging was cleaned 2 weeks ago. It was spotless. There was nothing there that should have smelled like death. I hate working the night shift. I worked the night shift at a data center from 10 at night until 6 in the morning. My job is network monitoring. Basically, I stare at the computer screen all night watching for alarms. Once per shift, I walk back to the server racks and make sure all the cooling systems are functional. Assuming nothing is wrong, which is almost always the case, I'm free to browse the internet until morning. Last week seemed to be no different. After receiving the turnover from the evening shift, I settled in for another boring night. I read through the day's emails, opened my monitoring software and camera feed, and started looking for the night's entertainment. My typical activity is to freak myself out by watching scary stories on YouTube. The environment is perfect. Lights dimmed, all alone in an empty building for hours. I pulled up a compilation of terrifying true scary stories and let my imagination run wild. I was absorbed into the tense story of a hiker pursued by an unknown entity in the woods. My vision narrowed in on the screen and senses on alert. When I thought I noticed movement on one of the cameras monitoring the server racks, I felt a pang of anxiety and my heart jumped. But this was not my first time intentionally frightening myself, and paranoia is inevitable in this situation. I put the camera feed into full screen. The lights were all off in the data hall, as they should be. They only turn on when there's movement. Just my imagination. Still, I kept the panel opened in full screen while I went back to my video, glancing back occasionally. Not 5 minutes later, I saw a shadow again out of the corner of my eye. Looking at the camera feed, I still couldn't see anything, and the lights were still off, but I knew I saw something move. I got up from my desk and walked out into the hallway, then through an access door into the data hall. The rows of fluorescent lighting all clicked on at once, flooding the room in light. I paused to let my eyes adjust and tried to slow my breathing. I strained to hear any signs of movement somewhere in the racks, but the drone of the servers covered up any noise. With mounting dread, I began checking between the rows. With each corner I rounded, I felt my panic grow. My heart pounded louder than the scream of the servers. As I approached the last row, I knew that whatever I saw would be so unthinkably horrible. My body would not be able to bear it. I could barely breathe. My hands and face were dripping cold sweat, and I felt the urge to vomit. I pulled myself forward, and in a moment that felt like an eternity, rounded the corner and saw nothing. I was alone. Of course, I let myself get freaked out again from the stupid videos. Relieved, I went back to my desk. I switched over to a documentary on fighter jets, and the rest of the night passed uneventfully. At last, morning came. The morning shift came in with his usual hangover, and we discussed the non-events of the night. After exchanging a few pleasantries, I packed up to head home. On my way to my car, I noticed something under my windshield whisper. Drawing closer, I saw that it was a Polaroid picture. With trembling hands, I picked it up from under the plate and held it up to my face. Rows of server racks in a brightly lit room. I stood facing away from the camera, preparing to look around a corner. In the middle of the frame, reaching out from behind the camera, a man's hand clutched a knife.